Hi everyone, it's me, Mrs. Duresha. I miss you all so much, but I'm so glad we get to do art together this year. So what am I missing right now? What do I need? Oh, I need my mask. Right now, a lot of us have to wear masks because it keeps us safe and people around us safe. So today what we're going to do is we're going to use these masks to make our beautiful self-portraits. So what do we need for a self-portrait? Well, we need to draw ourselves, our eyes, our mouth, our smiles, which is the one thing I can't see behind that mask. And of course, we need to use a lot of color. So you guys ready? Okay. So this is what we're going to make today. We're going to make some self-portraits. You can see that they're going to look like you. And then in the middle here, it's going to say things that describe you. And then look how they fold up. So I see your smile and then the mask. Smile and then the mask. And you can decorate your mask any way you want. So we're going to make these together. So the first thing you're going to need is your piece of paper. So just a white piece of paper or really any color you have at home. And you're going to fold it in half. Try to get your corners to line up. So fold it right there in the center. And then you're going to have two openings here, two flaps. You're going to take one of the openings there and you're going to fold it up toward the center. So you make a smaller rectangle and then do the same thing with that other flap. So you're going to fold that one up too. That way, when you open it up, you have the side that comes down where your mask would be and where it opens up and it will show your face and have all of those words that describe you. So the first thing that we're going to do is right there on that fold, that middle fold where it opens up, you're going to make an over the hill line, and that's going to be for one eye. And then another over the hill line, and that's going to be for your second eye, just the tops of the eye there. And then what you're going to do is make another over the hill line right inside of that one, a little bit smaller, and that's going to be the colored portion of your eye, whatever color eyes you have, and then one more small over the hill line right there, and that's going to be your pupil. So what I did is I colored in my pupil with my black marker or your pencil or whatever you have at home. And then you can add things like I'm adding some eyelashes, so you can add those to your eyes. I'm also going to add some eyebrows. So a couple triangles here, or you can look in a mirror and see what your eyebrows look like. 1 and 2. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the top of my head. So what I did is I just put a little tiny dot there right in between where my eyebrows up a little bit higher. And then I'm going to do one side over the hill all the way down to that crease and then all the way to the other side. So I'm making the top of my head there. And then from there, you're going to go ahead and add your hair. So what kind of texture is your hair? Is your hair smooth? Is your hair curly? I'm making some nice full hair here and a couple of buns at the top. And then I'm adding a little bit of texture with some lines, some swirly and curvy lines. So now I have the top of my head there. So what I'm going to do at this bottom portion with it still folded is I'm going to make my chin, or I'm going to make the bottom half of my face for my self-portrait. So same thing, I put a little dot there at the very bottom, and then I made a big smile line that meets up with the top of my head there. And then from one side to the other, I just made a little over the hill line, and that's going to be my mask. And then you can design your mask any way you like. So I'm putting a couple over the hill lines, making my rainbows. And then I'm also putting some hearts. You can add anything you want that helps describe you on your mask. Anything that you like. Unicorns, race cars. That way it's more personalized. It looks just like you. So now I have my hair, my eyes, my eyebrows. I can add details like glasses if I have glasses, or if I have some birthmarks, I can add those. And then decorated my mask the way that I like. So here's a different example. So I'm doing the same thing that I did before. So that way, if you missed a step, you can keep following along right now, doing it the second time with this other example. So I created my 3 over the hill lines to make my eyes, 1 big, 1 medium, and 1 small, and then colored in that middle one, which is my pupil. I made some eyebrows. And that big over the hill line, that is my head. And then now what I'm doing is I'm adding some zigzag lines and making some different hair here, some shorter hair. And since the hair is shorter, I'm going to draw some ears, just the top of the ears. Right there, I stop at the crease where that fold is. I can't go past that fold yet. I'm just drawing all my details kind of from the nose up. So then what I'm going to do at that bottom fold, same thing as before, made that little dot at the bottom, made my big smile line that becomes the bottom part of my face for my self-portrait, which is my chin. And then I added a little curved line that is the top part of my mask. Now on this mask, I'm adding some lightning bolts. So I'm creating these zigzag lines, some big, some small, and I'm making some lightning bolts. And then I'm just gonna put a few dots everywhere to add just a little bit more detail in those empty places. So now I have both of my examples here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now create the rest of my self-portrait and all of those words that describe me. So I'm going to use this one. I'm going to open it up, and you can see that when I open it, it kind of reveals this empty space. And this is where I'm going to add the rest of my details. So I'm going to have the bottom half of my face, my neck, and some words. So all I'm doing is I'm putting some horizontal lines right there on the crease underneath where I made those over the hill lines, so it completes my eyes. And then just a slight curved line that's going to become my nose right underneath my eyes. So now I'm making the bottom part of my face, which is going to be my chin. You can put a little dot at the bottom. You can see I did that, and then I connected them together. I'm adding some ears underneath my hairline there. And then now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add that nice big smile. I want to see that smile underneath that mask. And then I'm going to add a little tongue, just looks like a top of a heart. And then also I'm going to add some teeth. So I have some horizontal and some vertical lines that I added to the top there that are going to be my teeth. Maybe you have some teeth missing, so you can always put some lines so it looks like maybe one of your teeth fell out. And then I'm going to add my neck. So just 2 lines right there underneath my chin. Make sure you don't make the lines too close together, too far apart, and then just a curved line. So I'm going to do the same thing here. So open it up and I have this empty space. I'm going to make the bottom part of my chin. So once again, if you missed that step, follow along now. We're going to continue and make the bottom half of our self-portrait, our face here. So I have my chin, and then I connected those 2 over the hill lines and made the bottom parts of my eyes. I have to add the bottom part of my ear, a little curved line for my nose, and then that nice big smile. I think this smile made it a little curved. That's a nice smile right there. We'll add that little tongue down there. And I think maybe he's lost some teeth over the summer, so we'll have a few gaps here. The tooth fairy came to visit him. And then of course my neck, so I don't have a floating head. Okay, so now you can see when it closes, I'm wearing a mask, he's wearing a mask, and then when it opens, you see his smile. So right here in this empty area, the last part of our paper we have left, we want to fill that with words that describe us. So you can do this first with a pencil. So in case you wanted to make something like bubble letters, we can use this tip where you write the word, and then what you do is you go around your lines. So here you see I'm going around the lines of kind, around the letters, And then I can trace them with my marker or my crayon or my colored pencil, whatever you have, just to make those lines a little bit darker so you can see them better. There's the N and the D. And then you just go back and with your eraser, you erase those lines that you made first on the inside. So then you create this nice bubble letter, or you can make block letters. It's just a little helpful tip that we'll go over later on in this year, how to make those bubble letters, but you can try them. And then I'm just going to continue and make more words that describe you. Maybe you really like sports, you're very sporty. Maybe you love to help, so you're very caring and helpful. You can add whatever words you like. And if you can't think of words that describe you, you can always ask somebody in your house. You can ask grandma, grandpa, mom and dads, aunts and uncles, friends. You can say, what kind of words would you use to describe me? And then you can add those words to your self-portrait. Now what you want to do in any of those empty spaces that you see, you want to add some designs. So you can do your squiggles, you can do lines, shape, designs, patterns. Just anywhere you feel you see some empty space, you can add some designs. So then that way, when we add color, you have more to fill in and it's more colorful. So what I'm doing now is I have that second example, same thing as the first. I'm adding some words that describe me. You're going to add words that describe you. So you see loving is added to this one. You could be creative. And then same thing, add some details, add some designs, add some patterns. That way you have more to color in when you start to color with your crayons or colored pencils or anything else that you have to use. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. And you can always go back and you can fill in more. So here are our two self-portrait examples. You can see that they close up and you have the mask with all of those designs and all the details that look like you. And then when you open it up, you have all of those words. So I went ahead and I colored a little bit. What you're gonna wanna do is, considering it's a self-portrait, it's a portrait of you that you're making, you wanna make sure that you use colors that match your skin tone as closely as you can. So you want to look through your colored pencils, crayons, anything that you're using to add that color, and try to get as close as you can to your skin tone. Everybody is different. You can even mix a few to see if you can get the color that you want. You also want to make sure that you get your ears, make sure you get your neck, all those places. Also make sure you try to get your eyes and your hair as close to you as you can. Look in the mirror and see what color your hair is. Some of you have colorful hair. Maybe you have a few colors in your hair. Maybe you're fancy and you have some hair dyed and maybe it's blue in places, so you can always add that. And then even if you don't have that added and you want that, you can add that to your self-portrait. Now what I'm doing is I'm just adding color into my mask and around all of those details that I made in those words that describe me, filling in as much as I can. You can even color around yourself. So behind your mask there and behind your head, you could add some colors. You could add more details. You can do as much as you like. Remember, you want to do your best to try to stay in the lines, take your time. Make sure you use those long strokes with your arm, so then that way you fill in as much space as you can at once, especially when you're coloring your hair and coloring your face and your neck. You want to make sure you don't use too much pressure because you don't want to break your crayon, and you definitely don't want it to take forever coloring, because if you're using those really small lines instead of these really big ones like you see I'm doing right now for the face, you're going to get really dark crayon or pencil lines. If you're using colored pencils, you're going to have to wind up sharpening your pencil a lot, and that's just going to take up too much of your art time. Make sure you add those little details, like I said, makes you you. Maybe you have a favorite headband. Maybe you wear glasses. Maybe you have a necklace that you like to wear. Add that. Check it out. Here is our finished products. Look at our self-portraits. So you can see we have our mask, but we want to make sure that we can see our smiles. So you can see that you pull that down, and there we are, we're revealed. And you can see all of those things that describe us and make us special. I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. Make sure that you post your artwork. I would love to see it.